Hey, this is weird. I've never done this before. It's actually Christmas Eve and I'm visiting family, my husband's family actually, and just wrapping up presents in these kitchen towels, and this is a furoshiki, and this is like a fancy blanket. So yeah, I'm just doing this gift wrapping. And I thought it could be like a nice idea to just, leave you some nice Christmas greetings and end of the year thoughts. I'm sorry if the audio isn't super good. I didn't bring my microphone and this is very spontaneous. So I just wanted to talk about how this year was for me and my family and about what my New Year's resolutions might be. So I hope that we can start a conversation in the comments on how this year has been for each and every one of us, and maybe have this like little community thing, just talk about the normal stuff. I'm also sorry that I didn't upload so much. I just didn't have the time and I had so much work to do, and also for a while we didn't have daycare because of quarantine. Anyway, so 2020, well, I think everyone is going to remember this year, and whenever we remember things, whenever we can definitely put a finger on what was special in this year, then it's probably history, right? Because I remember when the wall came down, the Berlin Wall, I was 6 years old, and my dad was in his room. He had cancer and he was just lying in bed, and my mother came home from work. She's a surgeon, and she came home and she said to my dad, you know what, they opened the border. And my dad was like, yeah, and just turned around and slept on. So he didn't really believe it, and then we found out that it was real. And we were always talking about the West. And since I was pretty small, sometimes I confused the West with the Wild West because I knew movies. So I thought the West would also be the Wild West. And I was a little bit afraid of it, but also super excited about it. And that was actually, so I remember that day very clearly. And for me, that means it was history. So I also remember the day when I first heard about the coronavirus. I was on the bus to work, and that was like the first time I actively remembered, there's something going on. I must say though that I am a critical thinker, and I always will be. So I'm a trained nurse, I'm a physicist. I will always question each and every detail of something, and I will always question the media and the politicians. So I might not be 100% on the same page as everyone, and I think that's all right. I think it's normal to have different opinions, and I really don't want to start a big discussion about the whole corona thing. Just so you know, I really accept any opinion here, and I want to say that everyone is welcome. So if you're a critic, if you're a supporter of your politicians or whatever is going on in your country, that does not matter to me. This channel is about minimalism. This channel is about, coming together and finding cool people to talk with. And so that is what my content is about. So to me, that really doesn't matter. But what I want to acknowledge is that we all had difficult times this year. We might have lost our jobs, or we didn't have daycare, or we had to work twice as hard. For us as a family, this year was particularly challenging. But by no means this is comparable to anything that I've seen like going on around the world in other countries. And this year has taught me a lot. First of all, that I am pretty privileged, and I'm grateful for that. I think at the end of the year, it is important to really find that gratitude again, because at the end of the year, I always feel a little bit exhausted. I always feel like, well, I'm happy this is over. But it never really is. It's not over with the virus. It's not over with life, it's not over with challenges. Everything is really going on. So I'm not a fan of New Year's resolutions. I am not a fan of anything that just says, here's your new beginning, let's go. No. For instance, as someone with a background in science, I just hope that there will be more variety in the discussion, in the public discussion. I want everyone to be heard. I want to have open-minded discussions with my relatives and friends. And some people are so extreme, like some people are on the extreme that, oh, this is completely harmless, and others are on the other side and they say, oh, we're all gonna die, this is apocalypse. So I think both are wrong. But I just saw that this year was so challenging in a way because of these kinds of discussions, and that just showed me how many really underlying problems the society has. And I think that our society hasn't been intact for a while. Anyway, I think I went on a tangent here, so sorry. New Year's and new beginnings. So I'm not for new beginnings that just, that just come from a date, that just come from, now it's January and let's start over. That really never works for me. And what I like to believe in is in new beginnings, as in slow or fast changes, whatever, but changes that you actively provoke, that you do, that you plan for and research for, and you really start doing all these tiny things that maybe change your life as a whole. And that for me is minimalism. There, I got it. Got back on the road of the story, on the way to the final conclusion. So minimalism. That is what my channel is about. That is what I like to talk about here. And it's also something that has become much more important to me throughout this crisis and throughout all the challenges that we had, because I found that I really want to downsize even more, that I want to reduce the stuff that I have and make it more sustainable, and I enjoy doing that. And I also found that in this coronavirus crisis, or a political crisis, whatever you want to call it, that minimalism made a lot of things easier for me. And that really gave me hope, because it showed me, I'm like on the right path. I feel lighter, and some things are easier for me because I don't have so much stuff. And that really gave me hope in a way, because sometimes I think like minimalism is a rich white person thing that is for privileged people that like nice designs. That is like in the dark place of my head, I think of minimalism like that. For me, in a way, minimalism is a lifestyle. But then on the other hand, I see this whole other side, like concentrating on the things that are most important to you, on your family, on your values, whatever it is you want to have a clearer view of. That is basically the maybe the spiritual side of minimalism. At least let's just call it the nice side, all right? And that is what is accessible to anyone. That is what is really, it doesn't cost anything. And I just hope that maybe just considering this, just thinking of that and thinking of this whole gratitude idea at the end of the year, that we can find a way to make our lives better. And I wish that to anyone who's out there who's listening, I hope that you find your way and whatever you need, and that you get there in 2021 or maybe in 2022. I don't know how big your plan is. My plan, for instance, is to leave Germany and to move to another country. And I wanted to do that for a while. I was thinking about moving to Canada, and I was also thinking about moving to France, because I speak French, so that it comes in handy in Canada, it comes in handy in France. But now we are thinking about moving to Sweden, because we have visited Sweden this year and it was so beautiful, and I really thought like I'm missing this access to nature in my everyday life. I am kind of an outdoorsy person, but in Munich it's really hard to get out. You can get to the mountains, but it's an hour or 1.5 hour drive. And it's not always that easy with a kid. So I am thinking about really moving to another country for a variety of reasons. One of them being having a child-friendly environment and so on. But there are so many reasons. I won't get into that right now. But yeah, that is my plan. That is what I am working on right now. And I want to reduce my stuff even more. I want to live an even more minimalist life. Maybe extreme minimalist life. That is the ultimate goal, I guess. But, it's not about perfectionism. It's not about labels. So anyway, yeah, that is what I am planning for. And it does not depend on whether it's January or December or May. And I want to know what your plans are, independent of the year, independent of the time of day. Just let me know. And I wish you a nice time, nice January, February, whatever. So I wish you a happy new year, and wherever you go, that you find what you need. And I also hope that this kind of content that I post here can inspire you in a way or be helpful. That is my goal. And yeah, so good day to you, and see you next year.